All right, back to Proverbs. A companion of fools, a companion of righteous men, shameth his father. So most Orientals are very careful about not bringing shame to their parents, especially the Chinese and Japanese. The rest of them aren't too strong on it. But they're hanging out with the wrong crowd. If it brings shame to your father or your mother or your family, get away from them. I'll give you one illustration. I've got a fellow, and I forget his name naturally, and his mother was in the hospital for nervous breakdown. She was a widow. He was about 20 years old, and they had him in jail down in Panama City, put him in the hot box. Back in those days, this is 45, 50 years ago, when a fellow get really bad and righteous, won't take orders in the chain gang, they put him in a tin hut, about like an outhouse. It's about 8 feet high and about 4 feet square, and metal. And they just leave him in there. Don't give him something to drink or anything else. And that's in the summer. Summer, that's pretty hot down there. And they had him in there. And they got out. He was taking a light sentence, about 3 years, something like that. And he got out. And his mother was in the hospital when he got out. She said, "But you go and see him." And where we live, they live right behind Brent. And I said, "Yeah, I'll go see him." "Well, he ought to be sometime tomorrow afternoon." I said, "Well, I'll be on the lookout for him." And so I was. I forget his name now, but if I got that sermon on it, I have it in the note. But anyway, he came in and got out of a cab or something and started for the house. I stopped him and talked with him about his mother, about his situation, and he listened. And I asked him if he was saved. He said, "Yeah, I got saved in the hot box." I said, "You did?" "Yeah, I did." And he talked about Christ dying for him and all that. And he had got right in there. He just sweat and then passed out there and he got saved. And I said, "Well, here's right next to Brent." I said, "We're having a Bible study tonight here, Saturday night about 5 o'clock. Why don't you come along?" He said, "Oh, I can't. I made a date with the gang." And I said, "Well, don't you think you better come and get some Bible?" He said, "Well, it'd be pretty dull." I said, "My Bible studies aren't dull." I said, "A lot of guys, they're just your age." And he said, "Well, I promised these guys I'd come." And he put some stuff up on the front porch, and here they come, boy, on the bikes. About 4 or 5 of them. And they had some German helmet. They had the keychain, with a billfold with a chain on it, and the leather around this part of so if you get hit, guy tries to cut your veins, you hit the leather.